It seems like every year one wild card weekend team goes on to compete in the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl.
Is there a team that's playing this weekend that you think is a Super Bowl contender? Like if you had to pick one.
Yeah, I mean the three of them. I guess the four of them really. I mean the ones that I look at are the Bucks, the Chiefs, the Rams, and the Cardinals. Those four teams can get it going and can beat anybody at any time. Now will they? I don't know. I mean, is Matthew Stafford going to throw a bunch of interceptions and be that guy, or is he going to be the guy they signed him to be, which was clutch, never leave a game because you're hurt guy who makes a bunch of plays? Which guy are we going to get? I could say the same thing about Kyler Murray. Is Kyler Murray going to make a bunch of plays? Is he going to run around and be elusive, or what? What kind of performance do we get? I think the only quarterback that's ultra reliable in this weekend is Tom Brady. You know what you're going to get. You know that they're going to come out and execute. So he would be the only guy where I'm like, yeah, he's proven, no questions about it. I look at Joe Burrow. I look at Derek Carr. Those guys still have some proving to do. Joe Burrow has a great track record in must-win games, if you will. Games where it's like, hey, you win or you go home. Yeah, he's got a great track record, But this is the NFL playoffs, so it's a little bit different of a beast. But all that to say, yeah, I think the four teams playing this weekend that are potential Super Bowl candidates are Cardinals, Rams, Bucks, and Chiefs. Those four teams, to me, are the biggest threats playing this weekend.
Yeah, and I think the Dallas Cowboys are in the most peril. There's a lot of people who believe that the Dallas Cowboys lose this weekend, that Mike McCarthy is going to lose his job. And I mean, the San Francisco 49ers are playing pretty good football.
Yeah.
That defense is tuned up. Again, I mean, you're relying on Jimmy Garoppolo to win you a playoff game, which always makes me nervous. But before we get into each individual game, who's your best upset candidate this weekend?
I mean, I think the biggest upset, it would be the 49ers. I mean, you're going to Dallas. You like you were just saying, their defense is playing really well. And it really kind of feels like a thing where if Jimmy G just takes care of the football, they're going to win the game, And I think the Dallas Cowboys, unfortunately for them, have this track record of not winning big games, of not winning postseason games. Because this really, I mean, if we're being honest about the Cowboys, this is a game that they should win. You're at home. You're feeling good. Everything's good. You've got, Micah Parsons. You've got a bunch of guys on that team that can make a bunch of plays for you. And realistically, you should win the game. But I tend to agree, if you lose this game, then that's a pretty bad look on the organization once again. I mean, go no further than that Saints game they had, 2 seasons ago, where they were saying that was their Super Bowl because they weren't going to go to the playoffs. Like, this is a team that just kind of runs around in mediocrity. Everyone's like, oh, they're a Super Bowl contender. They started 6-0. And then they finished, with 10 or 12 wins. So, yeah, biggest upset, I think, would be the 49ers. Everyone wants to say the Steelers against the Chiefs because, Big Ben goes out in the media and says that they don't have a chance to win this game, and it feels like the classic trap game. But I don't think that's happening. That's at home for the Chiefs. This is Patrick Mahomes. Like, I just would be shocked, honestly. I'd be really shocked.
But what does this is Patrick Mahomes even mean? I mean,
like, it's the playoffs.
But he's not been that guy, though. He wasn't that guy last year in the playoffs.
But like with Patrick Mahomes, can't we at least say, okay, he's done it before. We know he's capable. It's just a matter of execution. Like with Jimmy G, I can't say he's done it before. Have they gone places with him playing the physical position? Yeah. But it had nothing to do with him, And so that's why I say, I don't know, a 9-7 team going to Arrowhead, I just think that would be an embarrassing loss.
Yeah, I think, absolutely it would be. I still haven't gotten my COVID result. Anyway, the point is, this is the frustrating thing. Like, you can't see it. You can't see
it. It just shows up, dude.
It just happens.
It just shows up.
I actually don't believe the Chiefs are one of the elite teams in the NFL. I mean, I think they have the potential to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I also wonder how the cold is going to impact this weekend. I mean, obviously, it's going to impact me.
God damn it with this cough.
I'm telling you, it's the worst thing in the world. The Bills and Patriots is where I want to start because that's going to be, it's going to feel like -12 in Buffalo. And I just don't see any way the Patriots can go there and win. And everybody wants to talk about how the Patriots ran past the Bills earlier this year and only threw 3 times in that game. And I just don't know that you're going to be able to do that again. Mac Jones is going to have to win the game for the Patriots,
Yeah.
and I just think in that weather, I don't know that he's ready to do that.
Yeah, I think I think the biggest thing for the Patriots is you have to come in with a game plan, understanding that you're not going to be able to do what you did last time. The Bills are going to come into this game and they're gonna be committed to stopping the run because they know if they can stop the run, that's going to make Mac Jones' life difficult. But if you're the Patriots, you understand that. You understand, okay, we're not going to be able to throw it 3 times and beat this team again. We're going to have to come out with something a little more dynamic. We're going to have to come out with a game plan that really tries to take advantage of the weaknesses of this Bills defense. And I think the one thing that's scary about the Patriots is Mac Jones has shown the ability from time to time to be able to make the big throw, to be able to make the big play. And I don't feel like Mac Jones is a guy that's going to be, enthralled by the moment. The moment's not going to be too big for him, and that to me is what makes the Patriots a dangerous team. But the reason I don't think the Patriots are like, the biggest upset of the weekend or anything like that is because I think these two teams are actually very even. I think they're very close. Josh Allen's probably the better quarterback, but team to team, I think they're both really good.
Well, and I'm also surprised that the Bills are only a 4-point home favorite. Like I thought that number would be 5 or 6. But that tells you the respect that Bill Belichick gets around the NFL. But again, when you have a rookie who really has never been on this stage before in Mac Jones, and I don't care that he played it.
Roll Tide.
Doesn't matter. This is the National Effing Football League.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now that this is a big stage and a bright spotlight. Mac Jones, in my mind, will be the difference maker in this game, one way or the other. And I think you absolutely have to lean Bills with how cold it is, with how punishing Josh Allen is as a runner, with how composed he has been this season throwing the football, that defense playing at a high level. I think you have to take the Bills here in a low scoring game. This feels like a 27-20 Bills win to me.
Yeah, I think it's actually closer than that. I do agree the Bills, you have to take the Bills in this game because of the weather and everything you just said. But I think it's closer than that. I think there will be turnovers in this game because of how cold it's going to be, and I think they win this game on like a late game field goal, type situation. So the Bills are going to win the game in my opinion, but I just think it's going to be really, really close.
Well, I think that's what you expect. That's what on Wild Card Weekend. I think if the Bills can get a win here, they're going to be a dangerous team in the playoffs. So I'll take Buffalo as well. And one of my favorite games this weekend is the Las Vegas Raiders in Cincinnati to take on Joe Burrow, the cigar-smoking stud. Probably too much. I love Joe Burrow. I love the Cincinnati Bengals. But boy, the Oakland, now Las Vegas, no longer LA Raiders, are always dangerous. And I think, it's funny with all of the things that they went through this year with the Henry Ruggs and the John Gruden and all of that, it seems like this team came together. And it seems like Derek Carr is now the unquestioned leader of this team. And with the way that Darren Waller bounced back last week, that's clearly Carr's favorite target. This offense is going to be dangerous. And the thing that I am curious about is a team that plays inside like the Raiders do. Can you go to Cincinnati against one of the hottest quarterbacks in the NFL and Joe Burrow? Now, that all depends on how this knee plays out for Burrow as well. But if Joe Burrow plays and he is any semblance of himself, which I expect he will be, Jake, I don't see any way you can take the Raiders to go to Cincinnati and win this game.
Yeah, I just think, you look at the Raiders season and they've won a lot of tight games. You go back, and I'd have to go back and look at all the examples, but, I believe it was, what was that, against the Vikings that 1 week early in the year where, you throw it off the guy's helmet and that forces OT and then you win in OT and you just had a lot of those kind of crazy game situations for the Raiders. And I think that, not to say that they got lucky, but I just feel like the road comes to an end this weekend. I feel like hey, we got a bounce here, a bounce there, and that put us in a position to make a play. That kind of thing comes to an end when you start getting into the postseason and you start playing teams like the Bengals who have a great quarterback in Joe Burrow and have found a way to get to where they are. And I just think that you're going on the road. It's going to be a tough environment. This Bengals fan base has been suffering for how long? This is one of it's just a big time game for that city and that town.
Yeah, and I think Joe Burrow is a better quarterback right now. I mean, obviously Derek Carr, they won games down the stretch to get themselves in the playoffs, but how many near misses can one
Yeah.
team and one quarterback have? I don't see any way the Raiders go to Cincinnati and win this game. So as difficult as that Buffalo-New England game is to call, in my mind, this one's not very difficult. I am actually going to take the Cincinnati Bengals to more than cover the current number is 5.5, depending on where you get it. It opened at 6.5. So,
Yeah.
more money's coming on the Raiders, clearly.
Yeah.
I love the Bengals by a touchdown here. Philly in Tampa to take on Tom Terrific.
Tanner, calm down. Okay?
Easy.
Easy. Okay, easy.
Love the way that Jalen Hurts has put Philadelphia on his back.
Mm-hmm. He's carried the team. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
The same way that you talked about Derek Carr being the unquestioned leader of the Oakland Raiders, or the Las Vegas Raiders at this point, I guess. I think he's the unquestioned leader of Philly. And I think that when you make plays and you step into that role and you just become that guy, I think it's a great thing for that organization. Philly's one of those teams where it's like, that fan base in particular, you can look around the league, right? And there's some fan bases where you're like, yeah, they just like the Jets. They just like their team. But in Philly, it feels a little different. When Jalen Hurts steps into the role, they get behind him as a dude, And I just feel like, not that they're going to win this game, because I don't think they're going to win the game. I think the Bucs are going to win the game, but I think this could be a game where Jalen Hurts really kind of steps into the national spotlight and says, hey, I did come up a little bit short against Tom Terrific, but I made a ton of plays. We made it really difficult on them. You think they're going to win this game?
I think the Philadelphia Eagles will have the ball in the fourth quarter with a chance to take the lead. And I know everybody's talking about Tampa's got the vaunted run defense. They've been 16th against the run since week 9. So the Tampa's run defense has been going in the wrong direction. Meanwhile, Philadelphia and Jalen Hurts have been putting together longer and longer and longer ball control drives. That's what's required to beat the Tampa Bay Bucs. And I'm not saying that Philly's going to go in there and upset the Bucs, but I do think it's going to take Tom Brady making plays late in this game to win this game. And I think Philadelphia will be in position to pull an upset here. The Bucs are an 8.5-point favorite. You're crazy if you bet the Bucs to cover that.
Yeah.
Because I just don't see any way that they do. I love the way Jalen Hurts has been playing football. I love the fact that they've been able to convert on third down with him throwing the football in critical situations. I think he's playing really good football. I think the Bucs are going to win this game, but I think it's much more of a late game play by Tom Brady or a field goal that wins them the game. I don't think there's any chance. I'd be shocked if they cover the 8.5.
Yeah, I don't give the Eagles that much respect. I agree they're playing well, but I think that run defense thing you talked about with the Bucs being 16th in the league since week 9 is definitely it's a legitimate point. But I also think, and this is unique to the Bucs because they have Tom Brady. I think when you are on a team with Tom Brady, there's an understanding that, hey, we're expected to go to the Super Bowl. But we need to get our stuff together.
They don't have Antonio Brown anymore.
I know. I mean, who does it better? Who gets it popping in the wide receiver room? I mean, come on.
Well, not Antonio Brown. I just think there's been so much noise.
Yeah.
And so many distractions. Why is it that every time I cough, I pick up the check with my COVID test? I think there's been too many distractions for the Tampa Bay Bucs.
Yeah.
I think their eyes off the ball a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think they win this game, but it's going to be very close. Dallas, San Francisco. This game is huge.
I think that's HIPAA.
I would agree. Why are the Dallas Cowboys only a 3-point favorite at home?
Because the Dallas Cowboys are going to lose this game. Guarantee it. Book it. They will lose this game. They will lose it by a touchdown. They will turn the football over. Somebody will. Don't know if it's Dak. Don't know if it's a running back. Don't know if it's off the wide receiver's face and into the 49ers defense. They will turn the football over in this game. And the 49ers are a good enough team to make them pay for that. And I think that, somehow, some way, if we want to blame Mike McCarthy, you want to blame Dak, you want to, blame good old Jerry, whoever you want to blame, go ahead. But this team will find a way to lose this game. And that's why I think they're getting disrespected with that number. I mean, that's just what the Cowboys do.
My biggest concern in this game is San Francisco's inability to cover the explosiveness outside for the Dallas Cowboys. And I think Amari Cooper is going to have to play at an exceptionally high level in the slot. And I think CeeDee Lamb's going to have a big, big day. And the other question is, how well can Jimmy Garoppolo throw the football? And can you trust him? I mean, obviously, this thumb injury he has affected him last week. We saw that. There's no question about it.
No doubt about it.
This Cowboy defense has been a playmaking, difference-making defense all season long. And you would have to think that Dan Quinn is going to have disguises and exotic blitz packages ready to go to force Jimmy Garoppolo to make mistakes. And he will every single time.
Yes.
In my mind, it's not going to be Dak Prescott or Zeke that wins this game. It's going to be Diggs and that Dallas defense because I just can't count on Jimmy Garoppolo. That's really what this comes down to.
And he will every single time.
Right? I mean, to me, that's the biggest question.
It's a great point.
And listen, I know that the 49ers have been playing very good football. I know the second half of the season they did some very nice things.
Yeah.
I just don't trust Jimmy Garoppolo. And if I'm a betting man, I mean, the number's 51 in this game, which is, do some math, 26.5 a piece. I mean,
that feels high for a playoff
or
game.
25.5 a piece. 51's a bigger number.
Yeah.
I think that's a defensive touchdown, and I can only think that comes from the Dallas Cowboys. And I love the way Warner and that defense in San Francisco are playing. I have no doubt that the 49ers are capable of going to Dallas and winning. I just don't believe you can do that with Jimmy Garoppolo as your starting quarterback. And if you're a 49er fan, the sooner this team gets knocked out, the sooner you make a serious, direction-changing move at quarterback because you got to go with Trey Lance. Going forward, from this season on, it's got to be Trey Lance. But right now, it's Jimmy Garoppolo, and that's the reason I can't pick the 49ers.
Yeah, I think it's a great point. Jimmy G is that guy. He's on a good team, but you can't trust him. He's not a good enough quarterback to or he hasn't been to take you where you want to go, and it's very frustrating. That said, I don't trust the Cowboys the same way you don't trust Jimmy G. I don't trust that the Cowboys are going to play disciplined football. I don't trust that they're going to make their kicks. I don't trust that they won't put the football on the turf, and that's what is so troubling to me about this game. And that's why I say, okay, this Cowboys offense is going up against this stout 49er defense. And that's why I like the 49ers in this game. I think they get it done.
And then there is the Kansas City Chiefs hosting Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's going to be emotion. There's going to be energy. There's going to be romanticism.
Oh, my God. Ben's crying on the bench at the end of the game when they're down 25.
He will have plenty of time after he loses this weekend to find a college town and a bathroom with a drunk chick in a bar. What? That's one of Ben Roethlisberger's favorite pastimes. But when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, the secondary's been their biggest issue. And they've given up big plays against the sideline, which is where the Pittsburgh Steelers and Fat Ben like to throw the football.
Mm-hmm.
That keeps them in this game. The reason the Chiefs win it is because the Pittsburgh Steelers defense can't stop the run.
Yeah.
And if you look at what Latavius Murray and Tyler Huntley and the Ravens did against them, they ran for 249 yards on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to go ahead and say that Andy Reid's offense is probably going to run the ball. And I think the more you run, the less you have to ask Patrick Mahomes to do. Mm-hmm. And I think right now, that's probably a better thing. You look at that game 3 weeks ago, and they absolutely dismantled Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a much closer game. The weather will not impact the Pittsburgh Steelers as an opponent coming in. Arrowhead's going to be lit. I know that the Chiefs are 12.5 in this game. I would not bet the Chiefs. This feels like a 7 to 10 point win.
Yeah, this is one we disagree on. I think this is going to be an ass kicking. I think this is going to be clinical. I think this is going to be, be able to run for 6 to 7 yards a carry. play action off of that, deep shots to Tyreek. Like, I think you're going to dominate this team. And I think that, if you're Patrick Mahomes, you're looking to right the ship, and you're looking to send a message to the league that, we may not have had a great season, but we're here. So to me, I could easily see this being like a 14 to 17 point victory, like a 35 to 14
win.
Win.
They what was it, 36-10 in week 16?
Yeah, I mean, I could see that, but I don't disagree that Patrick Mahomes has shown a propensity to turn the football over this year. So if he does that, we're having a different conversation. But I just have a hard time believing that, the first round of the playoffs after a tough season, you're going to come into your home stadium and turn the football over. I just can't get down with that.
Well, and I think they have an ability to run. So
yeah,
I think you're going to see them use that. And finally, the game that I cannot wait for, and I hate that it's on Monday Night Football. NFL playoff game should be played on Sunday. It is the Arizona Cardinals at the LA Rams, SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, Inglewood, California. Rams are 3.5 in this game. And, I mean, I look at some of the numbers here. I am not a believer in this Rams offense, but they have the ability to get the job done. I am not a believer that this is all on Kyler Murray and the Cardinal offense. I'm not a believer that this is the Rams off or the Cardinals defense versus the Rams offense. I think that's what it is. I don't believe that it's Kyler Murray versus the Rams defense is what I was trying to say. I think the story of this game will much more be Matt Stafford and the Rams offense being able to convert and handle the pass rush that the Arizona Cardinals are going to bring to the table.
Yeah.
That's my biggest question. I am not a believer in Sean McVay. I know that everybody loves Sean and look at him, he's a sex machine. And Sean McVay hasn't done nearly as much as the hype would tell you he's done. This is a big game for his resume. This is a big, big day for Sean McVay. And I've got to believe that on both sides of the football, the Rams are the better team, right?
Yeah, when they play their best game, their best is better than the Cardinals' best. That's absolutely true. But I think what's frustrating about the Rams, and I know we said this about Odell in Cleveland, and I know that, people are trying to change the narrative on this, but he's been open. He's been open many times. He's beat his guy by a step, and he's getting overthrown, or he's not getting thrown to at all. Like you're going to have to hit the big Odell play to win this game. I just think that has to happen in this game for this offense for them to see success against this Cardinals defense. But
Man.
I think the reason that the Rams are not like unquestionably winning this game, when we're talking about this, the reason there's some doubt is because of that offense. You know what you're getting out of the defense. You know that Von Miller and Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald are going to show up. You know that. But the question is Matt Stafford going to show up? Is his toe okay? Is he going to be able to deliver the football on time and on target? Or are we going to have, hey, we're down by 10 and I threw an interception of the 49ers on the sideline guy? That's the question. And I just think that, if we wind the clocks back to the Jared Goff time when they made that trade to Detroit to get Matt Stafford, one of the first things everyone was saying, is, Stafford finally is getting his shot and he's reliable and he's going to be there and he's going to make the play. Well, has he made the play? Because you should have won last week. That's the truth. You should have beat that team, but you didn't.
Yeah.
So that's why I say I like the fact that Vegas is only saying they're a 3-point home favorite, because you're essentially saying that this team is even then. And I like that. I think this is an even game, mainly because you don't know what you're going to get out of that Rams offense. However, just to be clear, I do think they're going to win the game. I just think it's going to be a dogfight to the end. I think this could be a shootout, exciting kind of game.
Now, here's where I see the difference being made, is you have a lot of injuries on the back end of that Rams defense. I mean, obviously with Jordan Fuller being out for the year, Taylor Rapp, I think, is still in concussion protocol. That's going to be a big deal. And the bigger deal will be, is Cliff Kingsbury going to stay with his offense, which essentially the last 6 weeks of the season has not been very good? And they've been a team that's turned into throw it 5 yards and then let Kyler Murray make some crazy play, and we're going to win the game with a field goal, or we're going to try and do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And don't forget, you're not going to have DeAndre Hopkins in this game. So you're not going to have that explosive down the field play that really helped them dominate early in the season. That's why I've got to pick the Rams here. And again, I understand the LA Rams secondary is beat up. But when I look at the way Von Miller's playing right now, I look at the way that Greg Gaines is playing right now, you stick Aaron Donald in the middle of that. You talk about Leonard Floyd, Ashawn Robinson. I love the way this Rams defense is balling right now. And I just think when you throw the ball 5 yards and hope for one after the catch, I mean, you're hoping beyond hope against a really fast, athletic Rams defense, even with the issues in the secondary.
What do you make with the secondary of them bringing Eric Weddle back? What do you think?
I think it was a really smart move for cohesiveness and communication.
You think he'll be able to? Because remember, this guy hasn't played in, 2 seasons, right? He's been retired for about 2 seasons now. And there's some speculation about how long he'll play, or is he here for the rest of the playoffs, or are they just bringing him back as a Band-Aid for this week? I mean, the question is, can Eric Weddle solidify the back end of the defense? Just like you were just talking about. I mean, can he be the guy that comes in and is like, all right, I'm here. I may not make that big interception. You may not hear about me, but I'm going to make sure that we're all communicating. We're all on the same page. We're all where we need to be. And if he just simply does that, I think it was worth bringing him back,
I think you don't bring in a guy like Weddle to get a performance on the field. You bring in a guy like Eric Weddle as another coach. I mean, that's what he is, because you have to rapidly teach communication in that Rams secondary when guys you've counted on to communicate and call plays and read offenses are not there now. And I think when you have guys like Jalen Ramsey back there, it allows you to handicap a little bit. You can take some more risks. You can be aggressive in places you wouldn't normally be aggressive without a guy of that caliber. Now, for me, I think Eric Weddle is a really smart hire. I think he's a guy that automatically walks into that DB room and has respect. He's a guy that is really, really, really whip smart when it comes to football. He's a dude that understands what offenses are trying to do, because when you break down football to the simplest form, offensively, it's a quarterback trying to manipulate defenders. That's all it is, whether I'm looking left because I know I'm going to throw right, whether it is pre-snap reads and I'm going to put a guy in motion or audible. All football is the quarterback manipulating a defense.
Yeah.
So the best defenses that we've seen in the history of football outthink and outsmart the quarterback. That's Eric Weddle's game. That's what it is. And a guy like Jalen Ramsey, and the reason the Rams have been so able to lean on him is because he doesn't need to be the smartest guy on the field. He just is so much better than the quarterback and the wide receiver combination that he's going against, that he covers a lot of that junk. And I think that's what the Rams are going to have to get. Don't get me wrong. I'm telling you now that going into this game, the Arizona Cardinals are more than capable of winning it. But the other thing that you don't talk about on this defense is the Cardinals haven't been stellar against the run for a month. And if you look at the way they've lost games, it's been third down conversion. They've given up a couple of massive, massive gains on second down that has absolutely crippled their ability to get Kyler back on the field.
What do you think of J.J. Watt coming back? Everyone obviously says, oh, my God, it's J.J. Watt. This guy is going to dominate. But I more say, hey, this dude's been off for, hell, I don't even know how long at this point. I mean, it's been weeks upon weeks that he's been out. And he's back now for the postseason, which I give him a lot of credit for. But, reasonably, what can you expect out of a guy who hasn't played most of the year? I mean, he's going to be rested, but you can't tell me that this guy is in grade A game shape by his standards, And that's why I say I don't know really, can J.J. Watt make the classic J.J. Watt play, the interception at the line of scrimmage or breaking through and getting that timely sack? Can he be that guy?
I think for one day he can. I think J.J. Watt being counted on for a season to lead your defense would be a mistake. But when you have the talent and the ability and the raw, pure strength that J.J. Watt brings to the field, you can ask J.J. Watt to show up and play one game. And I think that's what they're going to do. I mean, this is going to be the story of which defense plays their best football.
Yeah.
That's who's probably going to win this game. And I think when you look at a lot of these predictions, I think you see that Matthew Stafford, I am more confident in his ability to do what we talked about, manipulated defense, than I am in Kyler Murray.
Sure.
Kyler Murray relies on the freak show in the run game.
The chaos.
That's exactly right. And
chaos.
this
Yeah.
Rams defense is too athletic to rely on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think especially when things are more encapsulated, I just don't know. I look for Kyler Murray to have 200 yards throwing and probably 50 yards running. But I think he's going to have a 350, 400-yard game to beat the Rams.
Yeah.
Because
Which is a lot to ask.
I think this Cardinal defense, I think this Cardinal defense is very vulnerable.
The last thing I'll say about this game is the only other thing I don't like about this Cardinal team in this game is how they're coming into the postseason. You hear it and this doesn't just apply to the NFL. I mean, this is NBA, Major League Baseball, whatever you want to look at. Like, teams always talk about, hey, even if you struggled early in the year, even if you were a 400 team through the first half of the NFL season, if you can be a 600-700 team going into the postseason and playing your best ball, you've got a shot. And that's what I don't like about this Cardinals team. This team started 10-2 and finished 11-6. That is an indictment on this football team. And so it's going to go one of two ways. They're either going to come out and they're going to ball out and they're going to surprise everybody, but I think that's a long shot. I think that what's more reliable and realistic is you're going to L.A., the Rams are in that new stadium, they're feeling great about themselves, they got their boys, Eric Weddle's back, the defense is feeling great, and this may be a tight game in the first half, but I just feel like at the end of the day, the Rams will edge this team out. And I kind of feel like this is a sub-30s game. I kind of feel like this is like a 27-17 kind of game for the Rams.
We'll see. I like.
It's my favorite game on the slate, by the way.
Yeah.
Out of all these games, this is by far my favorite game.
I think the Rams put up 28, and I think they win 28-21.
Yeah.
Something like that. All right. Brylark says, morning, boys. Who's on upset alert this weekend? The Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
That'd be where I go. Eric Tavera says, morning, fellas. Just saw a photo of Brendan Fraser earlier today. And honestly, at first glance, I thought it was Monty.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I have blocked people for less. Cody Strickland says, morning, boys. I don't look like Brendan Fraser. He's not. No, man. Edgar Garcia says, let's go Raiders. Raiders over the Bengals in a shootout where Derek Carr throws 5 touchdowns to check down to his check down last resort. Well, how many miracles did the Raiders have
That's
this
what I'm
year?
saying, dude. Like, I don't want to be a hater. I don't want to say they're a gimmick, but they did get a lot of breaks. And that's why I say you can't tell me that you're going to go to Cincinnati, you're going to catch a break against this team, and you're going to find a way to win this game in overtime once again. I just can't. I just don't see that happening. Like I think with this game, the only way that I think the Raiders get the upper hand is if Burrow leaves the game.
Yeah.
If they get to Burrow, they punish him physically and they knock him out of the game. That if I'm the Raiders, I'm trying to do that. Like I would be.
Oh, you got to
know
punish
he's hurt.
Joe Burrow. Absolutely.
You already know he's hurt.
Yeah. Greg Hawkins, what's up? He says, howdy, y'all. Eric Tavera says, what if the Cowboys pull a Jazz at home? Well,
I think they will.
Mike McCarthy will get fired.
Yeah,
if they lose, make no mistake about it. I think if the Dallas Cowboys lose, Mike McCarthy's going to get fired. Jerry ain't going to put up with that.
No.
So I think that's one of the most compelling storylines. Brylark says, Pats Bills is the most low-stakes game for me. It's going to be super entertaining because I'm going to be stoked for whoever wins.
I feel like if you're a football purist, Pats Bills is the game for you. Like I feel like it's going to be really cold. It's going to be a lower scoring game, and you're going to get a lot of tactical football play. That's the hey, we're pounding the rock, and we have to run the football or else we're not going to win this game. And whoever does that better will win the game.
Jeremy Bolton says, howdy, Jakes and Monties.
Howdy. That's a reference from yesterday. Appreciate that.
Jeremy's. Justin Sal says, Jimmy G reminds me of Joe Flacco.
Yeah, but come on. Don't hate on Joe, dude.
Joe's got a Super Bowl,
dude.
Yeah.
Joe's got the iconic, hey, the lights turned off and turned back on, and we went and won the Super Bowl in New Orleans. Like, come on.
Man, the 49ers. Anyway, working on the road in Torrance, California. Monty, why didn't you get a free rapid test? I should have. I went to a drive-up testing location. They offered rapid tests. It took 30 minutes to get my result. Just saying. Should have.
Is your result back yet?
No. Is Jimmy Garoppolo on your slurp list? He is not.
No, he's not on the slurping list.
I am
dude.
not a Jimmy G slurper.
No.
Bradlark says Cowboys-Niners will be determined completely on how Jimmy G plays, 100%. Fat Jesus says Cardinals were 8-1 on the road and 7 wins were by double digits. Cardinals 63, Rams 9.
Well,
okay. He says, just kidding. Don't think the Cardinals can pull it off. I mean, has Cliff Kingsbury been a good coach for them?
yes. Hell yes. Yes. There has been a noticeable rise for that team. 100%. Like the first year they were 500. Second year you were like a 9-win team, and now this year you're an 11-win team. I mean, he's there. The tide is rising.
He's gotten them to a point. This is a pretty big day for Cliff Kingsbury. I mean, if you think about what Monday represents, I mean, if they win that game, he takes another step up.
Listen, the more to lose question in the Rams-Cardinals game is legit. Like, who's got more to lose?
I think Sean McVay gets fired if they don't win this game. I think that, and I know that's crazy. I mean, they're in the playoffs, but the Rams are only
not their aspiration.
The Rams have only been so good.
Yeah, I mean,
and I you made a huge change at quarterback with Jared Goff going to Detroit,
but that was the right change. That was a good change.
But has Matthew Stafford been the guy you thought he would be? I don't think he has been.
I think he can answer those questions Monday. I think if he comes out and he wins that game convincingly, yes, he has been.
Well, this is why you brought him here. This is the only reason that Matt Stafford is an LA Ram.
Yeah, the Matts Staffords. Yeah.
Yeah, Matthews. The only reason Matthews Stafford is an LA Ram.
Yeah.
Please don't name your kids in plural. No, I still have not got my test result. C. Sheever says chances for a Steelers upset. Slim.
He's a bum.
Slim.
Get the hell out of here with that.
Slim. Monty's slurp list, according to Jeremy Bolton: Caruso, Booker, Knicks, Chubb, and Rudy Gobert. Fat Jesus says Cliff's November-December record has been terrible. Yes, it has. Horrible.
But
correct.
They're still here.
And it's January. So let's see what his January record looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, think Cliff Kingsbury really, I mean, if he wins this game, I mean, that's a huge feather in that dude's cap. I mean,
yes,
this is the progression that you want to see out of them. I mean, after the Bulls era, which was one season and a bag of
is that
dicks,
even an era?
It's not. I mean, think about where they were when Cliffy got hired. I mean,
not in a good place.
Not in a good place at all.
Drunky the Clown had his beers. The other guy had his beers.
Dude.
And they were not in a good place.
At all.
Kim Deitch had his cocaine.
The Deitch.
The Deitchinator.
Isn't he in Detroit or
no,
in
he's
Dallas?
In Seattle.
Seattle.
He's in Seattle.
The Deitch was in Seattle.
He's in
right.
Seattle.
I just think this is such a big moment in time for so many of these coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Sean McVay, Cliffy, Mike McCarthy, certainly. I mean, I look at Zach Taylor in Cincinnati, Sean McDermott in Buffalo. I mean, Buffalo is expected to win this game.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at what you have going on.
The hoodie, dude.
Yeah, there's a lot of coaches that their career trajectories are going to change after this weekend.
Yeah, I like football season and all the things that go with it.
Yeah, and I think if you look at, man, I don't know. I think that the 49ers are very interesting as well. I mean, Kyle Shanahan's a guy that I don't know how many people truly believe in Kyle Shanahan.
I mean, I think he's done. I don't know, man. I mean, I think I could easily see saying, hey, Kyle has done everything that he can do with this team with Jimmy G as a quarterback. I mean, you've gone to Super Bowls, you're obviously in the playoffs, like you're doing things, I mean, are they doing what they want to be doing? No.
He's under 500 as a coach. I mean,
yeah.
I think this is a really important moment in time for him.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go to Dallas and upset the Cowboys, I mean, when the San Francisco 49ers are winning playoff games, there's no better job in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like this Trey Lance thing is a huge deal.
Yeah.
I
agree. It's time.
Drafting Trey Lance was a huge risk, and it has not paid off. But he's got that defense popping, and I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see This is his first real hoorah.
Yeah.
I mean, this
His
is
first moment where he's at risk.
This is his 4th year as coach, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 4th year since 2017. And this is a big deal for college. There's a lot of coaches that have a lot on the line in the NFL this year.
Yes.
Especially in the playoffs. Green Bay taking it this year. Sorry, Monty. Hodo Gonzalez says.
You're Aaron fucking Rodgers.
The bye week is not good for them.
No, it's not.
The bye week is not good for him. He gets to spend more time with Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
He's probably taking a lot more ivermectin. Fuck Aaron Rodgers. Like I say, go whoever, not Aaron Rodgers.
I'm Shiva, the god of death.
Kyle Shanahan's a huge believer in Kyle Shanahan. He is.
You have to be.
He probably pleasures himself in a mirror. I think it's one of those. Too much? Probably too much.
He pleasures himself in a mirror.
Yeah. Don't you?
Wow.
Well, if I were you, I wouldn't either. Anyway,
Well,
all right.
Hey.
What?
Facts.
Who's winning the Super Bowl this year?
I want to say the Rams, but I don't believe in them
Rams
that
are
much.
not winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't believe in them that much,
Rams are not winning the Super Bowl.
I don't know. There's not a team where I'm like, dude, like this team is definitely winning the Super Bowl.
Thank
we need
you.
to see what Tampa puts out.
Giggity says Green Bay going to take it all right, and they're going to like it. Exactly right.
Y'all feel me?
Anyone know if Aaron Rodgers is immunized?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I've been immunized.
I believe he has been.
Yeah, I've been immunized.
I believe so. Road to the Super Bowl runs through Green Bay for sure. I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, but we say that every year, dude. I mean, at what point does Aaron Rodgers actually grow a pair and win a game? Like,
he's
come on,
not
dude.
been a big game
Come
winner.
on, dude. Like, Tom went in there and absolutely torched him,
It's
dude.
Tommy, please.
Like, dude, you lost to Scotty Miller, bro. Like, come on. Come on.
That throw to Scotty Miller was,
Like, dude,
was ridiculous.
at the end of the half with 5 seconds left, Scotty Miller torched you. Like,
Yeah.
damn, Tom.
Fat Jesus says it's only bad if it's a car side mirror. True.
Yeah, well,
Cam Harrison says, good morning, guys. Shout out to Mo Bamba.
yeah. We're not in basketball yet, dude.
So wait, you're not willing to play drops on demand now?
Yeah.
Shout to Mo Bamba.
I've got listen.
Mo Bamba.
Listen, I wish I could show you guys. I've got like 15 pages of drops. So it's a lot of like, all right, where's the Mo Bamba drop? Where's the I've been immunized drop? Yeah, like I gotta.
What is your go-to number one favorite drop?
Well, right now it's the yeah drop. That's my favorite drop right now. But I think yesterday, the HIPAA.
That's HIPAA?
Yeah, the HIPAA drop is fire.
Justin South says, I feel like this year is the first year in a while where there isn't a set 2 teams who are for sure making it to the Super Bowl. I agree with that.
Every team has doubts. Every
I
team
agree
has
with
proving
that.
to do.
Yeah. By the way, Brylark says, Jake, put the glasses back on to play the drops, man.
No, I can't. I can't do that,
No.
dude. Yeah, I can't. I'm sorry.
Next question.
Yeah, next question would be the Utah Jazz and the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, speaking of COVID tests, no, I still have not gotten my COVID test back. Thank you, Jake. You're such a dick. We need more. Giggity says we need more Mike Rappaport drops.
Bro.
That
Mr.
Mike.
fucking vaccination genius scientific expert, you fucking asshole.
I love it.
man.
Fat Jesus
Dude.
says, hey, millennial, stop complaining about how hard your job is and just do the drops. Exactly, Fat Jesus.
Thank you.
Jeremy Bolton says, man, what an idiot is still my number one drop.
Yeah, see, like that one. Where's that one? Now I gotta go and find. Yeah,
What
here
an
it is.
idiot.
What an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
What an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I mean,
Afghanistan.
was a hot drop for a while.
For a while. The Donnie drops never disappoint.
Afghanistan.
Yeah, Donnie never. Are we really rating the drops?
I guess. Yeah. I mean,
Brylark says
Everybody gets a test.
Brylark says the Rappaport drop is still top 5 for sure. Absolutely it is.
Mr. fucking vaccination genius scientific expert, you fucking asshole.
I love that.